scene. I am not a human being, I'm a full machine. I ain't holy.
A very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, we kick off the new year with an NFC North matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Greg Joseph now ready to get this one started, and we are underway from Minneapolis. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. They'll send the tight end in motion left. First play and a first throw for Rodgers. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. The Vikings here hosting Green Bay in the season opener, and they've got one of those quirks in the schedule that is going to work in their favor. They play all three of their division home games in the first 5 weeks of the year. After Green Bay today, they'll host Detroit in week 3 and then Chicago in week 5. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is third down and 6. Again, it's Jones. And he will be knocked down hard, but he will have the first down. Call it a game. Gets him a new set of downs.
A gain of 7. First down, Packers.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. He's got the hook up with Don. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've cocked it up, they've got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
First down, here's the run with Cook. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Cousins. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
Well, partner, that's the start that you want right there. And you know he spent the entire offseason throwing hundreds, I'd probably say thousands of passes, getting ready for that moment. The first throw of the new season. He's dreamed about it, thought about it, and now it's out of the way.
Yeah, 1 for 1. A lot more to go. They run the counter with Cook. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Second down, they go right back to Cook. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. Looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on third down. From the gun, here's Cousins. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And now off to the races, down the right side. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown.
Well, really a fantastic play, not only to pick that off, but he had to run a long way, Charles, in the direction to hit pay dirt. He did it, and they've got the first lead.
And that certainly changes the early tone of this game, doesn't it, partner? One moment, they were going to be in early control. Now they just have a few moments to clear their heads and get back out there against an electrified defense.
Kene Nwagu now out of his end zone. And he doesn't even get this to the 10. He's taken down at the 9.
Anytime you feel the kickoff inside your own end zone, you've got to be decisive about whether you're bringing it out or not. Sometimes that indecision can really cost you. That may have been what happened on that play.
Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Quay Walker. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football.
They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner forgets starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make it.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers.
Aaron Jones
taking it in from 7 yards away.
And the Packers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Crosby with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0.
Vikings, nothing.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
Nwagu now from his end zone.
Nwagu on the return. The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have is chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions maybe in the back of his mind. And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
On third down, here's Jones. And he's going to come up a few yards short of the first. They get him to the ground at the 37. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on fourth down. So on fourth down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. Devontae Wyatt there for the stop.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
And the 3rd interception thrown by Cousins.
Picked off by Jair Alexander.
And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. He exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And, Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball, and that one was picked off.
Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Vikings, nothing.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
Throwing now is Rodgers. And he's got it. It's caught from Packers touchdown.
Robert Tonyan
from 10 yards out.
And the Packers are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead.
Extra point up and good by Crosby. And that makes the score 21-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
Nwangu now from his end zone.
And all deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. And the Packers pick it up. And they will set up shop red zone territory at the 13-yard line.
So problems compounding themselves here on the return. They just give up the touchdown, and now they lose the football.
Yeah, partner, things are starting to unravel a little bit for them right in front of our eyes. They're going to be looking for some answers, and quickly.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll make it 2nd down.
A few moving pieces on that play because that was an RPO, was it not?
It was, but one important piece that didn't move incorrectly, the offensive line. Because when you're running this play, as he continued down the line of scrimmage, sometimes the lineman can wander downfield. And if you're more than a yard downfield, it's illegal to throw the football at that point. But they held their ground, held their spot, and turned it into a nice gain.
Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. On the delay, Jones. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay.
Aaron Jones.
Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend.
And the Packers are able to add on to their first half lead.
Crosby connects on the extra point, and it is 28-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Well, that is interception number 4 for him, Charles. 4 here in the first half alone, and they're already trailing by 4 possessions.
Makes me wonder, partner, do they just not have any confidence at all in the backup, or do they just have that much confidence in him? Able to throw 4 picks already, they're certainly hoping that he can turn things around and quickly.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 4 yards on the pickup there, as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
They'll go again to Jones. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7.
51 yards rushing for him in this first half, as he is looking in mid-season form here in the opener.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive. Now Jones. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6.
Not a whole lot there on 1st and goal, and that's what you're looking for defensively. You'll certainly live with giving up just a yard or 2 in this situation.
On 2nd and goal, Rodgers looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Just looking at it from a defensive perspective, when you break the huddle in the red zone, tight end is one of the guys you got to key on, because quarterbacks want the ball in their hands fast in this position, and they want to get it to someone. And in this case, he had the play. They just didn't complete it.
Ball at the 6, 3rd and goal.
And he'll get this up awfully close to a 1st down, but by the looks of it, might be a yard shy. It'll be a gain of 5, but they do keep him out of the end zone, and now it's 4th down.
But defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. And nothing but daylight ahead. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
So maybe some signs of life. Well, this has been a defense. They've been all over the map here in this first half, but they're coming through with a big play.
And sometimes that one play is what you need. And it sounds really simple, but this is a team that was close to being down and out before halftime. So to come back and return the interception for a touchdown, that's big.
Yeah, maybe it can serve, Charles, like you were alluding to, as a little bit of a wake-up call for them. We'll see.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness.
Picked off by Lewis Seen. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings.
Dalvin Cook taking it in from the 20. And the Vikings get a bit closer. Joseph connects on the extra point, and that cuts the lead to 28-14. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Their own 23-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. This offense returning out there, and really, you remember the last drive, Charles, it was over before it even began. They threw the interception on the very first play.
And what that means is for all these guys, it's been a while since they've been out there going full speed, so they've got to get everyone back out there, run a couple of your go-to plays. Make sure you get your offense oiled up a little bit. They've got to be able to start fast, but they've got to be efficient as well.
Especially the quarterback. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 83 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth. He's miles away and smiling.
And happy. Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. On 3rd down, here's Dillon. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. And this offense in midseason form here in the opener. It's 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. Man open, here is Jones. And it's a Packers touchdown. Aaron Jones on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Packers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. So a good start to the campaign so far for them here in Week 1.
Yeah, all the things that you dreamed about in April and May and that you worked on in July and August, getting ready for this game, it's all coming together so far.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
For most people, the excitement of the kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder into ball carrier, and down he goes.
Lets it fly for Thielen. It got his man complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. On 1st and 10, Cousins. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown! Justin Jefferson, 40 yards. And the Vikings get a late score in the final minute of the first half.
Touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in a second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. Joseph connects on the extra point, and the lead will be cut down to 14. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. There's a Darius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And space opens a bit as he gets it across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. All told, a 54-yard punt, 13 on the return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And maybe a chance for a quick completion and then a long field goal try. We'll see. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Jair Alexander. Touchdown, Packers.
As more and more up-tempo football creeps into the NFL game, some coaches don't think time of possession matters anymore. I believe we found one of them.
Extra point try now for Crosby. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Charles Davis on Brandon Gordon getting set for quarter number 3 here. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. Nwangu now from his end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
Third and long for Cousins. And now here's another interception. Rasul Douglas picks it. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Tough one there. First drive of the third quarter, throw an interception, and now a chance that they could be an even a bigger hole if they can convert this into points.
Yeah, but how good do you feel if you're that defensive coordinator right now? Because you just know that the head coach looked at him and said, turn him loose, big man. And he'd be able to take a few extra chances playing with this type of a lead, and boy, it paid off.
That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Rodgers caught on the right side by Jones. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. 109 yards rushing for him now as he goes over the century mark here in the season opener. Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Oh, they'll try to jet sweep here with Lazard. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
Well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. To throw, it's Rodgers. And he's got his man. Touchdown, Green Bay. It's Allen Lazard. A 14-yard touchdown. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Nuwangu now from his end zone. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Throwing is Cousins. And my goodness, another interception. Rasul Douglas picks it, and the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
On second down, it's Jones. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. He'll complete this one to Watson. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to fight.
He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. That is caught. It's the tight end, Tunyon. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones punching it in from a yard away. And the Packers will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Crosby connects on the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's got a man, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets to the 45. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Cousins now. That is caught by Thielen. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Here's Cook again. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
On play action, Cousins. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, giving him a little dab. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
On 2nd and 12, Rodgers. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And give him 9 yards on the second down screen play.
Partner, like the play call coming right after a tackle for a loss, because this is an obvious passing situation. But instead, they fooled them a little bit with the screen, and they wound up getting back what they lost, and then a little bit more.
And he's going to be a yard short. A 2-yard pickup leads to 4th and 1.
A gain of 2 yards on the play brings up 4th down.
They'll run it with Jones. And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now Rodgers. Got a man, that's Lazard. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 23 yards, the final tally. Rodgers going to throw. Throw right side. This is into the hands of the tight end, Tunyon. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Now Crosby for the point after. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
Packers 63, Vikings 21.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into week 1 because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. These fans just kind of beside themselves right now. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football.
First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
And his throw here is incomplete. Well, at this juncture, CD, you normally see teams pack in the passing game. They've got the huge lead. Not them, though. They're still taking their shots.
I remember reading in past history, there was a college football coach in the Hall of Fame whose nickname was Close the Gates of Mercy. But he wasn't really big on that. He was big on go ahead and scoring. He's kind of reincarnated right here. We're watching it in front of us.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. The kick by Crosby is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Darnell Savage. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. That one goes for 30 yards. An inside give to Jones. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal. Rodgers throwing here. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Extra point try now for Crosby. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
The score, Packers 73, Vikings 21.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
Nuwanger now from his end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
One last shot now for Cousins, eluding the pressure right. And this is dropped and incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one is gone as time has run out on this ball game.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right? Opening the season, and you open within the division. You knew the motivation was going to be there on both sidelines. One just executed better and earned the win.
So for the Packers, it's a fantastic start as they roll to a blowout victory here in the season opener. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles.
I'm the best, I'm the best, and I can't, on my own. Keep my way up, get my go, go. If I touch it, then it's cold, I'm the best, I'm the best,
Hello, new world, all the boys and girls. I got got some true stories to tell. Get back outside, but they still lie. Whoa, yeah.
Take off the foo-foo, take off the cloud chase, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the money phone, take off the car loan, take off the flex and the white loss, take off the weird jewelry. I'ma take 10 steps, then I'm taking off top off. Take off them fabricate streams and the microwave memes. It's a real world outside. Take off your idols, take off the runway, take off the Cairo, take off the Sandro Pay, 5-day stay, take a $250,000 hella follow. Take off the fuck flag, take off perception, take off the cop with the iPad. Take off the allure, take off the unsure, take off decisions I lack. Take off the fake deep, take off the fake woke, take off the I'm broke, I care. Take off the gossip, take off the new logic that if I'm rich, I'm real. Take off the should know, take off the Doja, take off the Birkin bag. Take all that designer off and what do you have?
You ugly. You out of pocket. 2 ATMs, you stepping to what? You out of pocket. Who you think they talk about? Talk about us. You out of pocket.